trees can add a lot of details to your model railroad, and even if you have a steel mill model railroad, there's got to be some trees somewhere on the steel mill, or at least close by. But the problem with is that if you buy them in a hobby shop, they cost a lot. And so I'm going to show you how to make some realistic trees out of weed. Okay, I found some weed here that might look like a pine tree. I don't know what these are. I guess they're kind of swamp grass or something. But I will try and harvest one of these without getting stuck in the mud. Okay, this is, I think it'll look like a pine tree. You got to get some spray paint. It's called moss green, and that would turn out to be some kind of a pine tree. It kind of looks like it a little bit there. So use your imagination when you go out and pick your weeds. And I'll show you later on how to process it. Even these could look like pine trees, and I'll try and snip one off. Okay, here is the weed that I use for my hardwood trees. And these are called spire or something other, spig or whatever it is. I really don't know. I'm not a botanist. But you can choose, get these before these little flowers or seeds fall off from there, because that is what you're going to use to paint. So I'm going to try and get one without falling down here in the thicket. And I think that's a good candidate right there. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. There you see it there. And then when we get back, I will tell you how to process this thing. Now you can make the tree any shape that you really want. You know, God didn't make two people alike, and He didn't make two trees alike. So you can trim these any way that you like. Okay, these are the weeds that I told you about, and I'll use the tripod a little later on. This is that spig or whatever it is, spiral, whatever it is. And this here, this looks like a poplar tree. At least I think it does. This could look like a pine tree. That's a sumac or a tree of heaven flower. This here could also be a pine tree, or it could be a poplar, but I think it comes closer to a pine tree. So this is some kind of grass that grows on the shoreline near a swamp or something like that. So I'll show you what we're going to do. I'm going to put some pins up there, clothespins on there, and then I'm going to hang these weeds from the clothesline there, and then I'm going to get, sorry about that, this is Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch paint and primer, and it's called Satin Moss Green, and that's what I'm going to use to paint these things with. Okay, so now I've got the spray can here, and always shake it before you do this, because it gets the pigment all up, and then you just do this. Always start your spray on and off from the whatever it is that you're painting, because otherwise what will happen is that you'll end up with a heavy spot and then a light spot. It's better to use a slight smaller coat on there, which are called a tack coat on there, and then you can always come back and take care of this later. And what this will also do, it'll seal the foliage on this little branch that you have there. So we'll just let that dry for the time being, and we'll move on to another one. Okay, there are various species of trees, and maybe I should get this one out of the way a minute there. Hang on a second. So if you look around, you can find some that perhaps look like a poplar tree. And I don't know what kind of weed this is, but I'm going to spray this. Well, I was going to spray it. We'll try it again. This is in the outtakes. This is Trees from Weeds, take 2. So that could be your poplar tree. We'll let this dry. Okay, this is that sprig, spiral, whatever it is. Okay. So now, I'm going to spray paint this Spirogyra spigosaurus or whatever it is. I'm not a botanist. So I'm just going to do it this way. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Just do this like this. And you can remove the little leaves here, such as these things here, which are way out of scale. You can do that at any time, but I'll just do that here just to show you. See right there? You don't need those on there. I probably should have taken that off at first, but it doesn't matter. Then you can go back and you can give your trees a second coat. My advice to anybody here doing this is to make sure that the overspray is not going to get on anything where you happen to be married or you'll end up in divorce court. To put overspray on appliances and things you don't want. So we're going to move this over. We're going to go for the other tree. So now this piece of sumac, or tree of heaven, which I think will look like a pine tree, I'm going to spray paint that. And then even though the trunk here is crooked, you could trim that so that's more straight. And then you can go over and you can give your other trees a second. Okay, so as I was saying before, the battery, which I got at the El Cheapo dollar store, I went out, you can go through, you can make, you can kind of touch it up. It's not exactly all the way green. It's perfectly okay because not all things on trees are green. So we're going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'll show you. But you can always take your spray can and spray a little bit here, and that keeps the buildup from clogging your nozzle. So the paint dries fairly quickly. I'm going to show you how to plant the trees. And hopefully I won't trip over my tripod. So what you do here is you take one of these and you punch a hole. Not all the way through. And you punch another one here. And then we're going to take our fresh pine tree and we're going to put this one right down in here. You may have to do a little bit more trimming to get it to stick down in there. Hopefully I didn't get it too big. Okay. And then we're going to take this one here and we're going to put this one right here. Okay. So there you can see that. And then I'm going to move this over just a little bit over here. If you have something that's hanging down like that, this makes a good small tree. I just set that to the side. So, right there, I've trimmed this tree right over here a little bit. And this big weed over here, I broke that branch off and I made a smaller tree right over there. And you can trim these a little bit here. And then you can see this over here. You know, you can make them that large or whatever. So the point of the matter is, let's see if I can get a good view of this. This is what you do. It saves a lot of money. And then it's amazing what you can do with things that you find in nature. So I hope you found this a little bit informative. Thank you very much.